Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. They said the palace got the biggest shock of the century and, was in disarray as royal servant received new morning routine instruction from Olori Naomi. Yes, so Olori Naomi is coming to play right now as she is beginning to take, over some of the wifey activity that she was never interested in. And they said this was the shocking, turn of event that happened in the palace. The palace has a straight rhythm, to the mornings. Okay, servants knew when to rise, what corridor to sweep first, which flowers to, place where, how to light the incense that wafted softly through the hallways of the royal wing. For years, the instruction came from the central command under the head steward, and everyone followed without question. Now, the head steward of the palace right now, since the Oni of Ife got married to, these Oloris, the head steward of the palace is gospel, okay, and has been gospel for over a year. I think there's this routine every year they change it to the next person, so they will head the head of steward, rather not the head steward. The head of steward is gospel, so all the information, everything used to come from gospel, but you know and that morning was different. Okay, from the moment the first bell rang, something was off. Not chaotic, not loud, but quietly different. The first sign was the uniform change. That a lot of things have happened in the palace. When Gospel, Gospel had traveled to Lagos, and from Lagos she went to Ijebu to get, people to get to talk to the Oni of Ife over immunity removal. But they said by the time she came back, some of those steward, their uniform had been changed. Some of the inner chamber servant who usually wore plain, a beach wrapper, had been told to switch to soft ivory with a gold emblem stitched in the edges. Okay, soft ivory linen. Okay, no one knew who approved it, but what they later heard was that it was coming, from Olori Naomi. Normally, the breakfast tray for the Oni of Ife were prepared in the central kitchen with input from all the Oloris. Okay, they don't necessarily cook, but they stay there. Oni of Ife has his own cook. Each wife occasionally contributed her idea on what Kabiesi might prefer, okay? Ikpi with her peppered yam, Bloblos, famed spicy okra soup that Kabiesi enjoyed sometimes, and Ebony, who made sure the honey used in his tea was locally sourced and hand, poured. But today, they said that very day the breakfast was completely different. Only one tray was allowed through the main hallway to the king's personal bedroom, the one now reserved for Queen Naomi, and it wasn't assembled in the main kitchen. It came from the smaller private royal, pantry, a place that had been mostly unused since Queen Naomi left the palace of the Oni of Ife. But they said that day, instruction came that the meal was going to be prepared from that place. The food was simple but deeply personal: light yam porridge, slice of avocado with crushed local spices, and a small pot of date infused herbal tea. Only a few servants knew how to prepare it just the way Olori Naomi likes it. They said all of these arrangements were made. And another change that occurred that, Blow came to see was the fact that the royal cook, some of them, as they did not remove cooks, but they brought in some new royal cooks who seem to be, at the helm of affairs in the kitchen. And they say that these changes were made by Olori Naomi. A lot of things are, being changed in the palace of the Oni of Ife. And this all is coming from Olori Naomi. Naomi has a particular way she serves her husband. She knows what Kabiesi likes, and she wants them to give Kabiesi what Kabiesi likes. But the thing is that she is living all of these instructions, they say it's coming from Lagos, but a lot of people are saying that she had been able to put things together in those times where she came to the palace, even though other Oloris did not know. Because the two cooks came to the palace and they resumed immediately, and Kabiesi is aware of them. They went straight to meet with Kabiesi, and Kabiesi handed them over to Dr. Elizabeth, and that was how they resumed without the knowledge of other Oloris. They say palace scatter. Like Palace Kata, what is going on is what everyone is asking. I'm going to bring you more update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.